Hi, my name's Blossom, and I'd like to share with you a short story. A story about why yellow roses are so important to me. This story goes back before I was born, back when my parents were still dating. My father grew up very poor, and he was always a frugal man. That never changed for his whole life. He didn't see sense in spending a lot of money on things that wouldn't last. But he also knew that other people held some importance in them. So, when Valentine's came around, he decided to get flowers for his girlfriend, my mom. However, he didn't like to waste money. He didn't want to buy them full price. So on Valentine's Day, he bought the discount. They were out of the red, so he picked yellow roses. He didn't know the symbolism behind it. To him, it was probably just a good deal. Flower's a flower. Will make his girlfriend happy. And that's all there was to it. But I feel like the meaning of the flower reflects something very important. Red roses symbolize love, romantic affections, romance, those sorts of things. But yellow flowers, yellow roses in particular, symbolize something else. They symbolize joy and warmth, and most importantly, friendship. My mom often said that her husband was not just her husband, not just a lover, but her best friend. I believe it was 2019. I remember the day. It was the day after Christmas. I lost my father. And it was soon after that that my mom shared this story to us. It's interesting to me. Yellow roses also have a second meaning. They're normally associated with death and funerals. Life taken too early. And that's what happened with him. The yellow rose. In it, I see my father, his life and his death. Now, you might not believe this part. Or maybe you will believe it, who knows? Depends on, I guess, your faith. But this is my story. I'm Catholic, and there's a thing that certain Catholics do. We pray to certain saints, not as a form of worship. I'll get into that at a different time, though. It is a way to ask them to intercede, to talk to God on our behalf, like asking a friend to pray for you. A particular prayer is done to Saint Therese of the Little Flower. Normally, this has to do with roses. As a child, I prayed this prayer multiple times, 3 to be exact. What you do is you say a certain prayer every day at the same time for 10 days. And you associate a certain flower with a message that you would want conveyed. Most of the time it's to do about your vocation. If you want to become a nun, if you want to be married, or if you should know at this time. What you do is you pray that you'll receive a flower from someone. When you know, when the prayer is over, and it will symbolize something. You have it set in your mind already what it's going to be. This was long before I knew the yellow rose story. But I made the yellow rose symbolize that I wasn't supposed to know yet. And 2 times I got the yellow rose. And each time I was disappointed. Then, right before my father died, I said this prayer again. And this time, I made the yellow rose symbolize marriage, without knowing what it meant. And I told no one, just as I always had. No one gave me flowers for years. A couple years back, I met a man while I was dreaming, and we became friends. And now, we're dating. I consider him my best friend. I told him of the story of my dad and the yellow roses, just offhandedly. When we met in person, he gave me a bouquet of yellow roses. And I thought nothing of it at first. Well, besides the meaning of it, I knew he was being sweet. But it wasn't until he'd left that I realized something. I remembered that prayer I did all those years ago. Of what the yellow rose was supposed to symbolize. And that night I had a dream. I dreamt of my father. And he handed me a yellow rose. He didn't speak. He just smiled and nodded. I don't know what the future has in store for me. I know the future I want, though. and things are slowly falling into place. Every barrier that would keep us apart slowly vanishes. And all the doubt and fear in my heart is drifting away. And that's the story of why yellow roses are so important to me.